Okay. Good morning, God. I need your help. It's so awkward when I first start talking to you. Lord, you know what I'm coming to talk to you about. These things can go really poorly if I don't submit myself to what your will is and what you want for this time with the students and I going through this plan together. So God, I just ask, will you please help me to have a pure heart, pure motivations in doing this, and that I can be authentic and real and actually talk from my experience and pray to you in real need and real questioning, and not just to teach but to love these students. Lord, give me wisdom that is God oriented. It's from you. I don't want wisdom from this world. I want you to teach me. Help me love you. Help me see who you are. Help me to be patient. Help me to not get distracted. I ask that all the youth students that are here with me doing this, that they are blessed, and I pray everything I just prayed over myself, over their life as well. Allow them to experience you fully. So will you meet us here? Will you meet us in this moment? Thank you, God, for making this easy. I know this is going to go well because you're here. What is up, my bro nachos? It's your boy, Mike Tyson, coming at it again with another Bible reading plan. Devotional video day 4. Here we go. I just want to start off by saying I am very impressed by you for you being here. And the fact that you're here must mean that you want something deeper, you want something better, or you just like watching me stumble around in my times with God. Regardless, I want us all to take this moment and really make the most of it. So thanks for being here. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. And you know the routine. If you don't know why you're here, go watch this video. Now, without further ado, let's get started. He hears before you think to pray. Now we know that's true. It's a deep thought. Not only does the Bible teach that God listens when we pray, it's also clear that he listens before we pray. Psalms 139 is eloquent in saying that before we can even form a word on our lips, God already knows what we're going to say. He knows the words before we do. He's listening before it even occurs to us to speak. There's never a moment when God is not there with you. If you accidentally find yourself in a situation where you're in trouble and feel far from God, he's there. If you have actively tried to run from him, doing your best to get yourself in the darkest possible situation, he's there too. On the very top of the list of things you're completely incapable of doing is getting to a place where God won't hear you. David even says that if you could count the grains of sand on the shore, you still wouldn't be approaching the number of times God thinks about you. He's more attentive than the most attentive friend or spouse. He's always there, not as a policeman, but as a friend, ultra concerned to hear what is on your mind. This is the confidence we must carry into prayer. As you finish this devotional and close your eyes to pray, God will already have been listening to you, waiting for you to speak. He cares, more than you could ever begin to fathom. So what will you say? He knows your situation better than you do. Lay it all out there for him, including your own emotional and spiritual response. He cares. He's listening. He's longing to spend this time with you right now. Ladies and gents, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Bad joke. Bad dad joke alert. To be honest with you, to let you in on a little secret of my life, recently, this is what I've been learning all about, so I think it's pretty appropriate that God would just smack me across the face with this one this morning. In my life, the more I've been looking at everything that I do and asking the question why I do it, one thing that is true about me is that I can feel like a lonely person. I remember plenty of times I've left parties. Still to this day, I'll leave social events where my friends are at, or even youth group nights, where I am sad to go. I don't like sitting in my car immediately after youth group or after community group or after church or after work or really any party that I go to, like Mason's graduation I just went to. I leave, and when I have to be alone, there is this like small amount of emptiness that I feel. I think what I have figured out after years of asking the question of why, I just don't think I like to be alone. I really want people to love me. I want to be loved. And I don't think I'm alone on that desire. I think we all want to be loved. And having friends that love us is great. I think that's why a lot of us go to youth. We do it because it's a place where someone likes us. It's a place where we can feel like we belong. I mean, I've done that in every area of my life. I've done that in filmmaking. I've done that in party hopping and being more involved in school, from track and field, improv, being band president, being in band for 7 years, being a part of the broadcast team, and somewhat an unhealthy habit that I had was doing things so that people would like me. And that was my motivation, so that I could have more recognition. And while doing all those things were not inherently bad, I think my heart going after it was more out of a place of not enjoying the good gifts that God's given me, enjoying the life that I have been given, but feeling really needy and wanting someone to acknowledge me. Now, I probably still have tons of soul searching to do on that topic, but that's where I'm at right now. And this devotional, like many other things I've been reading recently, the more and more I try to find satisfaction, peace, joy, happiness in any place that isn't God, ironically, the more dissatisfied, less joyful, less happy I am. It's not all bad. Like, having friends who love you, that's a God-given gift. We need people in our life. So I don't want to dismiss that. But what I am saying is that I think we should find it first in God and let that spill over into our relationships with our friends, our family, our significant others, our love interests. And the amount of joy we'll have, I think, will greatly increase. We're about to read Psalms 139 and pray. Like, this is the bread and butter of living in relationship with God, just spending times knowing that He loves us and is with us, and getting to hear from Him, getting to praise Him. Like, that is the only place that I have like ultimately found the satisfaction to everything I just mentioned. And that is a story from Wesley McCutcheon. But follow along with me in Psalms 139, the New Living Translation, my fave. But you can read anything you want because this is America and I can't stop you because you're not next to me right now. For the choir director, a psalm of David. What is a psalm? Let's look that up. A psalm is a sacred song or hymn. In particular, any of those contained in the biblical book of Psalms and used in Christian and Jewish worship. We're about to read some lyrics from a sick beat. To any of my musicians out there, I'm looking at you, David, Sabrina, Stuart, and really any of you other ones that are low-key musicians. 1 billion extra credit points to anyone who can actually make this into a song, because that would be super impressive. But for us who are not cool, let's listen to me read it in a very boring voiceover. And go. Oh Lord, you have examined my heart and know everything about me. Starting off the gate strong, I'm going to highlight that. You know when I sit down or stand up. You know my thoughts even when I'm far away. You see me when I travel and when I rest at home. You know everything I do. Dang. Also highlighting that. You know what I'm going to say even before I say it, Lord. You go before me and follow me. You place your hand of blessing on my head. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too great for me to understand. I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. Highlighting that. If I go up to heaven, you are there. If I go down to the grave, you are there. If I ride the wings of the morning, if I dwell by the farthest oceans, even there your hand will guide me, and your strength will support me. I could ask the darkness to hide me, and the light around me to become night. But even in darkness I cannot hide from you. To you the night shines as bright as day. Darkness and light are the same to you. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body. Wait a minute. I had to reread that because I went into one of those states where you don't know what you're reading, but you just keep reading anyway. I'm going to highlight that because that's amazing. It's like actively saying, God, I don't want any part of you. And He's like, bet, you're my friend. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body, and knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day has passed. How precious are your thoughts about me, O God. They cannot be numbered. I can't even count them. They outnumber the grains of sand. And when I wake up, you are still with me. Oh God, if only you would destroy the wicked. Get out of my life, you murderers. Gonna highlight that one in red. It's a little aggressive. Although David was actually people were trying to kill him, so I can understand that. They blaspheme you. Your enemies misuse your name. Oh Lord, shouldn't I hate those who hate you? Shouldn't I despise those who oppose you? Yes, I hate them with total hatred. For your enemies are my enemies. Talk about vulnerability right there. He's just straight out calling people out and saying, I hate them. That's honesty. I respect that. Search me, O God, you know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you and lead me along the path of everlasting life. Dang, I love both those. Okay, there's tons in here and I could spend hours on it if we had the time, but we don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through the ones I highlighted. I highlight the ones that engages my heart immediately. When I read it, I'm like, I should sit on that. I should think about that. Or something that I don't understand, I need to highlight. So I usually highlight those red because they confuse me or they go against what I actually believe. And I want God to challenge me in that. Because if I really do believe that God is God, He's perfect, He knows better than I do, then I should probably be humble enough to go to Him and say, I want to understand what you have to say. I'm not going to hold on to my opinion because it lacks a lot of experience and truth, whereas God has all the experience and all the truth. So that's why I do that. So let's just go back through these highlights and sit on each one of them and just take a moment to acknowledge the truth and pray that we can understand that more and that God can show us that. So the first one, O Lord, you've examined my heart and know everything about me. For those of you who go to youth groups regularly, you know that we are going through the vulnerability series. And we're doing it, I think, to sum it all up in one verse. And for this verse, I want you guys to get to a place where you know how to be vulnerable with God and share really anything with Him. Not because I want you to be embarrassed, but because He already knows every single thing about us. And He knows us better than we know ourselves. And that truth is cray-cray. Because if you think about it, to be fully known by someone and then for them to say, I love you, I care about you, is crazy. That's utterly insane. Name one single person in your life that has done that. I would argue no one except God. So think about it. Just take a moment. I'm going to think back on the worst things I've ever done, the best things I've ever done, and realize that God knows that about me. Thinking back to all the mistakes I've made in past relationships, things that are still affecting me today. God, you were there with me when my dad got in that car wreck and I saw the car flip over. How scared I was. You were there with me. God, you were there with me during my breakups. You were there with me when I struggled with lust every single time. God, you've been there with me when I've led the youth every single night, even the times I forget to pray and ask for you to be there. God, you're there in the moments that I don't do what you've asked me to do, and you stick with me afterwards. You don't get mad, you don't run away, you stay there. That's pretty amazing. God, you're here right now. Lord, help us to understand that at any moment we can call out to you and we can love you. Help us all to do that. God, I thank you for verse 7 that says, I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. And I don't fully understand that right now. Just being honest with you. I want to enact what verses 23 and 24 say. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you and lead me along the path of everlasting life. God, if I really could understand that I can never leave you and that you can empower me at any moment, God, doing anything is not that scary. And I have started to understand that truth just a little bit. But God, I ask that you help me to understand it at any moment, that you take away my anxiety, that you take away my fear, and that the beauty is that we always get to have that relationship with you. Even when we don't do our devotionals, you're there with us. God, even when we're not being a good Christian, we mess up, we keep doing dumb things, or we keep choosing something we know we shouldn't do, that we've not gone too far. God, I thank you that any sin that I've committed, that wasn't too far for you to take me back. God, I thank you that truth is true for all of the students that are listening right now, that you love them even despite the worst thing that they've done, not because they deserve it, but because you graciously gave us that gift. We deserve death, and you gave us Jesus. That's amazing. So I literally can't run away from you, and I love that I've gotten to learn that over the years, that's a beautiful thing and not a scary thing. I think the truth that I'm getting out of that, God, and you're reminding me right now, is it's not scary because you're not just this evil judge. It's really calming and peaceful because I know when I run to you, you're going to lead me better than I can lead, that you're going to love me better than my own mother could love me, or my own grandmother could love me, or my own, and anyone that takes care of me. They're going to speak truth into my life better than my own father could. God, you're going to love and accept me, even the worst thing I've done. So thank you for that truth. Just to further that, God, I think for those of you out there who feel like they just want to sit in the darkness, they just want to be mad, they just want to be upset. Like I've been there. Like, you just want to sit in your room, you want to sulk, you want to be sad because it's finally an emotion. God, you're in that moment with us right now. That even in our saddest, you want to enter into our lives. God, I thank you for the times that I've cried out to you on the Maori's bed, or in the shower at the Maori's household, or on my knees in the hallway of the Maori household. God, that you met me in those moments and how beautiful those moments were. And I also just thank you for the joy of getting to explore the creation that is who you've made me to be, the gifts that you've given me, the intellect that you've given me, the desires you've given me, and how I change almost every single day, and I get to figure that out with you. That's amazing. Thank you for letting us figure out this amazing gift. And I just thank you as well that you set in motion before I was even born my entire life, and you know how it's going to end. And thank you that I get to follow you and trust you in that. And I ask that today you speak to me. Show me what do you have for me today? How can I love people today like you've asked me to do? How can I fall in love with you today like you've asked me to do? And for the last two verses, I'm going to pray that God, right now, God, you help me understand, you help these students understand why David's saying these confusing things in these last few verses. But I'm going to write it down. So, oh God, if only you would destroy the wicked, get out of my life, you murderers. They blaspheme you. Your enemies misuse your name. Oh Lord, shouldn't I hate those who hate you? Shouldn't I despise those who oppose you? Yes, I hate them with total hatred, for your enemies are my enemies. For those of you right now who, I don't feel like this one really hits me. It's not totally, I'm not really angry at anyone at the moment. There's a few people who I get frustrated with, and I think we can all relate to that. And so right now in your moment, I would say be like David. I think the beautiful part about it is that he's just honest. I love that about David. I think for me, when I see him saying this, he's going to God who is perfect and all-knowing and pure, and not a bit about him is evil. And so that could intimidate me to go to you, God, and to say like what I'm really feeling, which is like, God, I'm angry at... There is actually someone that I'm slightly angry at, actually, that I get frustrated that they kind of mess up my plans. I'm not going to share the name because that wouldn't be helpful. But what I'm getting from this is that, God, you understand me. You know that about me even before I've told you. And so there's really nothing I can hide from you. And the fact that you still love me despite those bad thoughts that I have about other people makes me think that it'd be a good idea to just tell you and work out this emotion with you. So we can figure out, like it says in verse 23, test our hearts. God, I want to look more like you, Jesus, because I just know that there's so much joy in life and living out a life that you've given me and not just what this world says. So God, help me to figure out what's going on in my own heart with those friendships or the people that I'm trying to help in my life and trying to love, and the ones that really frustrate me or I don't understand. God, will you help me to love them like you love them, Jesus? But yeah, God, like You know how I get frustrated at that man. And I just ask that you please give me the grace to love them where they're at. Because God, I know I can't do that on my own. Dang, boy, this was a long one. I'm going to stop there. Take a moment, pray. Figure out what's going on in your life and allow God to speak to you in those moments. If you're alone, write out your thoughts on a piece of paper. Just pray out and get it out of your system. I'm an external processor, so what I might do alone is a little different than what I would do on a video, but I'm actually finding a lot of joy out of when I read it, immediately trying to describe it to someone else or to tell you about it, because like I said, I'm not getting distracted in my head. I'm not letting other thoughts come about. I'm fully focused in on this, and when I have to teach it out to someone else like you guys, it helps me. So maybe you could practice something like that to help you understand this. That's it though, guys. Love you. Can't wait to hear what you think about it. Comment down below. Comment in JKY your thoughts on this one. Can't wait to see you guys on day 5. You else could stop watching this, but why would you want to stop watching this guy read from a screen when Dang, David getting a little saucy there. Did you just hear that? That was my stomach. That's insane.